Hello everybody, welcome to our last video tour in 2022. It is on our solo show by Julia Gruner entitled Allergic to Peanuts. And this leads us directly to the work group represented by these cushions, which are constructed from sheer paint. So the material itself is very thick and it is built up on a separate plastic foil which is put on the floor, and there are many layers of acrylic paint and other materials like oils are mixed to produce this overall setting you are looking at. When the skin is thick enough to be handled, she peels it off the foil and then constructs the cushion from it. To make it stable for the future, this skin is attached or fixed to a canvas, but it's not painted on the canvas. So the canvas is just carrying the painted skin. The filling is simple bubble wrap. So the cushions itself are not heavy, they are lightweight, and you can place them anywhere you want. The second main work group, which you find in part behind me on the wall, has been invented by Julia Gruner due to Corona, which we all have been suffering from. She was not allowed to cross the city in order to reach her studio. So she had to think about what could she do art-wise at home. And she had a very simple and I find very clever idea. She just ordered a scanner, a regular scanner we all know, and covered it with a plastic foil and then started to experiment with all types of liquids, creams, oils, whatever you can imagine you would find at home, and mixes it up on top of the scanner and then just scanned what she tested. But the main job is then to find out which of your scans would work as an image. So what we are looking at are many different types of creams. For instance, here you have all these bubbles, and these data can come like this. So you can print it out like a wallpaper we did here, or you can produce individual images from it, which you find as well, of course, in our show. Of course, not everybody wants to cover his entire wall with such a large wallpaper we did, which I think is great, but you can have a printed image like this as well. It comes in an edition size of 3+1, and this is the one we used for our invite and which I personally love very much. You have like scoren milk, which is used like a color to color vegetables, and honey and different types of materials. Also makeup is used within these images, and you see that you have these kind of foldings from the foil you see, and which the scanner sees very precisely because he looks from underneath. We are coming to another little space within our gallery, and here we find two more cushions from the work group of the lazy paintings. And as you can see, these two, one on this side and one on the other side, are leaning kind of lazy versus the wall. And I like this type of presentation very much, as the pieces don't need to be in the middle of the space. Their power also is very strong, just leaning against a wall or into a corner. Here we are looking at another example of the so-called domestic paintings. The origin I have already explained is due to the fact that Julia had produced these during Corona at home, but this is the large size. Now we are in the other space, main space of the gallery, which is dedicated to another work group by Julia Gruner. It is what we call in German Malwasser, But to translate, it would mean painting water. But what is painting water? Painting water is the water you need to clean your brushes after you have finished painting. But what you already learn as a very young artist in the academy is you have to keep it, because there is acrylic in it, which is not good for our environment, obviously. So Julia was thinking about what could I do to prevent my sink from taking my painting water. And she had a very simple idea again, and adds just plaster to her painting water, and then pours this thickened painting water into a mold. And the mold's just the blister packing we buy, like our Parma ham or salami from. And what you are looking at here are only 3 different types of blisters she has used and used again. Each individual part of these represents 1 day of painting. So it has been produced at the end of the day, it has dried overnight, and then you can take off the blister and you have one of these pieces. And the idea is that you are very free to do whatever you want with it. You can just purchase one, you can purchase a group, you can purchase something like this and assemble it to a form you would love within your space. Now we are in the last space within our show. Again, we are looking at painted skin, which Julia has constructed the cushions from, you already know. Here she has mounted the skin onto a plywood base to construct a painting from it. So you find the color and the acrylic paint on a plywood case, but it's not painted onto, it's just attached to it. So this is really the difference to painting onto a surface. They come in different sizes. We are looking at a medium size from her, and we have reached the end of our tour. So the show will continue until January 21st. Of course, there will be a short Christmas break, and this leads us to all the best for your holiday break. See you in 2023.